travel industry, thinking about big things, and I'd love to know what's on the top of your mind.
So there's two trends that I'd like to talk about that are affecting the travel industry today. And the first one has to do with airlines sometimes taking some of their newest and best fares and making them available exclusively outside of the traditional distribution channel, or assessing new fees for purchases that are made in the traditional distribution channel.
Those are pretty dramatic and even scary headlines, but they're also offering people more choice, and I'm having trouble reconciling that, Mike.
Well, so let's talk about that choice. So here's an example of a screenshot from a Lufthansa website. And you can see there's something interesting going on here, because instead of selling just the traditional economy seat, now they're selling 3 flavors of economy seat. So there's sort of the basic that's really stripped down. There's the classic that includes a seat assignment, a carry-on bag and a check bag, and then there's even sort of a deluxe version of an economy seat that has, maybe early boarding, or you can go visit the lounge, or something like that.
That really doesn't explain the headlines, though.
So if you really want to get into this, we're going to have to go to Professor Koetting's Airline Content Distribution Laboratory.
Oh,
ready?
That sounds great.
All right, come on, let's go.
All right.
You gotta be properly
Dangerous
attired
in
here.
Professor Koetting's laboratory, huh?
That's right. Lab coat on. Good.
All right.
Do you think? No, we don't. No, we don't need to. We don't
I
need
hope
to.
not.
However, we are going to be discussing technology that was invented back when the overhead projector was considered cutting-edge technology. Now, there's about 30% of the crowd has no idea. They're so young.
Exactly.
They're like, that looks cool. Where do I get one of those? Right, exactly.
Do you have a fax machine?
I
up
know,
there,
right?
too?
We'll bring that up next. Okay, so let's start with the basics, right? And so the basics are that there are airlines who have flights and fares,
Yeah.
and they want to make those available for purchase by online booking tools like Concur Travel,
Right.
and travel management companies, TMCs, right? We want to buy them. So for over 40 years, airlines have been publishing and distributing their fares through a set of intermediaries that are collectively called global distribution systems.
Yeah.
And there's 3 flavors of those: Sabre, Travelport, Amadeus. And every travel management company and online booking tool uses one or more of those GDSs to access those flights and fares from the airline. Right?
Yep,
Good?
we're good so
Okay,
far.
all right. So here's the important part. Using the GDS, the airline can only sell those traditional 3 or 4 classes of service for each flight, right? So they can only sell...
Right, the ones that we're used to flying.
Right, economy plus, right? And just as importantly, they can only sell those sort of basic flights and services, but every shopper sees the exact same selection of fares. They can't sort of customize and decide who sees what.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Good so far. This is
So-
how I do everything.
This is how the world works today. So now today, when a traveler purchases that flight, the TMC and the online booking tool document that purchase in what's called a passenger name record, or a PNR, right? Now, the entire industry relies on this GDS and PNR technology, and I can't overemphasize that. Over the last 40 years, almost every aspect of the entire travel industry has been standardized on this GDS PNR technology.
Got it.
Okay. But remember that airlines no longer are satisfied with just selling that coach seat, right? They want to have all these bundles. They want to decide who gets to shop which bundle. And unfortunately, the GDS PNR technology just can't support that complexity.
Now I see where the
You
rub is.
see where we're going? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So as a result, airlines are forced to make those bundles available exclusively on their website or other non-GDS channels. Now, by the way, there's actually a technical name for the standard that is used to distribute these bundles. And that technical name is New Distribution Capability. It just rolls off the tongue.
Rolls off the
Right.
tongue.
So, and it actually is called NDC for short. And so these
perfect. We
these-
have another acronym.
Another acronym.
That's what we needed in travel. One more acronym.
One more acronym. This content is generally called NDC content.
Okay.
And as I said, the GDS PNR systems don't support NDC content. Oops. I think we lose our, there we go. So in order to enable these NDC bundles, the entire PNR-based system is going to have to go away. And it's going to be replaced by an entirely new system of NDC offers and orders. And that sounds simple, but it's actually going to require the industry to invest hundreds of millions of dollars and years of effort.
Wow. Now I see why this is one of the big issues on your mind.
That's
Hundreds
right.
of millions of dollars. That's a big issue.
And so until that investment is complete, though, we do have a solution for Concur clients. And so Concur clients can access this content for their travelers one of two ways. They can enable TripLink, which allows travelers to book directly at that website and get some of these new packages and bundles, or they can enable a feature in Concur Travel called Select Access that enables that NDC content to enter our online booking tool outside of GDS.
So that was a rather busy slide for a keynote at 9 o'clock in the morning, Mike.
Have you ever seen more arrows?
So let's not, don't teach any classes on PowerPoint, please.
Okay.
But that was really very helpful.
Right.
You mentioned, though, 2 issues. So what's the second issue?
Well, just to wrap up this point, though, what the issue is for the travel manager is it's not just an issue of plumbing, right? So we've got to figure out the plumbing, but the travel manager is ultimately going to have to decide 2 things. Number one, is this content important enough that I need to make it available to my travelers now? And then secondly, the travel manager is ultimately going to have to give much more granular guidance to their travelers about what's reimbursable in a policy. So instead of just having a simple policy that says, oh, we prefer for you to book carrier X and Y, and you need to take, for a flight under 6 hours, a coach seat over 6 hours business, now they're going to have to say, well, in that coach selection, this is one of the 3 bundles that you're allowed to take, and those bundles are going to differ from one airline to the next. So it's going to be a much more complex situation for the travel manager and travel.
So for all of our friends here, this just makes compliance even that much harder with the managed travel policy.
It's that much harder. There are benefits to it, but that's going to be the challenge. And so, and then that brings us to the second trend that we were talking about. And this is something that was mentioned earlier yesterday in the keynote. We did a little demo, but it's this issue that I kind of refer to as the expansion of the jock tax.
Yep, I remember the jock tax.
The jock tax. So this is where local taxing authorities have gotten really good at taxing the income of highly paid visiting team athletes that maybe play in their city, 10 times a year, and have now started to turn their attention to, well, what's the next kind of highest paid visiting employee? And those are high earning corporate travelers. And so that's another huge liability that's standing out for our clients.
I think that you and I may be in a little over our heads if we're talking about taxes.
We could be.
What do you say we bring out a couple of experts?
Excellent.
All right, everybody, will you please join us in welcoming to the stage Adam Schulman, Boeing's Global Payroll and Travel Leader, and Mike Bertolino, EY's Global Leader of People Advisory Services.